Hello everyone, welcome back to Skybyte Studios, and in this video I'm just going to be doing my first update on where I am with the Deathtrooper armor set slash cosplay. And first things first, we're going to start off with what I'm using here, and I just have a pair of safety goggles and a face mask because I do use a Dremel and I don't want plastic flying into my eyes or into my face, so safety first definitely. And then other than that, I also have a pair of just typical office scissors and a box cutter for certain parts of the armor to trim out. And I've been calling this a Dremel. It's really a rotary tool, same thing, but this brand is called Wen, which I actually highly recommend because they are cheaper. And I got this one off Amazon. The whole set cost me about $28 and it hasn't let me down yet. So that's pretty cool. And then here's just the bag that it comes with and the numerous tools that I will be using for this build. And I also went ahead and bought an extra probably 100 or so set of the sanding discs that I'm going to be using throughout the armor because I know I'm going to be going through a lot of these. So I have that, and off to the side here I have various sizes of sandpaper. This is just a 100 grit one, yeah. So I have various grits ready to use, so I have that. And then here I have something called Rub and Buff. This is the silver leaf color. This is what I'm going to be using for some of the silver colored pieces such as the buckles and like other pieces of detail on the armor that require to be silver and look metallic. And this stuff works really great, and you could get this on Amazon as well. So there you go. And in terms of the glue that I'm gonna be using, I know a lot of people, they tend to use the E6000 kind of glue, but I opted for this one. It's Bob Smith Industries. It's essentially it's super glue. I got this on Amazon as well. And then the reason I'm using this, because it's the same brand as this thing, which I actually learned recently existed, and I wish I knew about it before. It's called Accelerator. Essentially what this does is you fill it into a spray bottle. I have some in here, and make sure not to drink this because it is chemicals, but it looks like water. Essentially that you glue something together and then you spray it with a few spritz of this, and that'll instantly dry it. I've already tried it on some of the discarded plastic pieces from this armor, and it works great. It probably dries in like 10 seconds, so definitely recommend this. But if you're still a fan of E6000, I definitely go for it, but this is what I opted to use. And in terms of instructions, I'm not using anything formal. I've just been looking at the 501st CRL like frequently. And then I've been following a channel called Big Pete Cosplay. He shows you how to set up the armor. It's the same brand. It's from 850 Armorworks that I'm using. So I definitely recommend looking at his channel to help you guys out. But anyways, let's get on with the build. Alright guys, so here's an update in terms of where I currently am with the armor. I am roughly halfway through trimming the pieces. As you can see right here, on this side we have the cod piece. This has been trimmed, it's all ready to go. We have the back plate here, which is going to hold a thermal detonator right there. And then we have the posterior armor, or as it's nicknamed, the butt plate. So this is all trimmed and sanded, and pretty much everything here, the last step is to paint them and then add the straps. And then over here we have the chest piece, so I'll bring this out first. This was actually the first piece that I completed. And in terms of this, I'm considering cutting off this bib section. I believe that's called the gorget. I'm thinking about cutting that off and then adding this gorget. So I did end up figuring out what this is for. So this is a separate piece if you want to stick this onto the back section permanently, and that way if this is on this portion here as a replacement, you could just take this off and then slip the whole thing on the chest and back section as a t-shirt instead of strapping them on front and back while it's on your body. So it's gonna be a little bit easier, but I'm a little bit scared because if I screw up, there's no going back. So yeah, that's where I currently am with that. I have this cut out, but you can see it's not sanded at all. The edges there are all jagged, and yeah, I'm gonna finish that part up while I decide on whether I'm gonna use that or not. And then over here we have the abdomen section. This again is all trimmed, sanded, it's ready to go, it's ready to be painted. And then I'm gonna move this off to the side. So over here we have the straps and the buckles. So as you can see, I did end up painting these. So it does look a lot like it does look really metallic. It looks like it's real metal from certain angles. I don't know how that's going to show up on camera, but there you can see. In terms of how I painted this, I just took one of those sponge brushes, and I just stroked it in one direction, so it looks like metal, that kind of striped effect that metal has. So there you can see it's not painted in the back or anything because that won't be seen, but that's what that looks like. I used the Rub and Buff silver leaf on that. I also used it on the buckles here. So these are the ones that are going to go on the lower section of the chest. So these are the ones that are going to have the buckles going through them. So I tested it right there. So I sanded these down. Not the best on one side because that part's not going to be seen. So how this is going to work is this is going to fold up like that, kind of. And I'm going to glue that shut, and then that's how it's going to be stuck onto the armor. So there you go. I have both of these, and then this is the one that's going to go on the top section of the chest. And again, this one is not the best looking from this side, but on the top it looks passable. And I did end up sanding this down with the Dremel, so I'd say be careful with that because it ended up burning the rubber, and it was smoking quite a bit. It smelled like burning rubber. It didn't cause a fire or anything. It was just a lot of smoke and bad rubber smell. But yeah, that's how I did it, and if you're gonna do that, go ahead and be careful. But there you go, I have both buckles right there. As you can see, both of those are gonna go on the top section of the chest. And then for this one, this is the rockets or missile launchers that go on the left arm. Took me a while to figure out where I needed to cut this, and if you're also following Big Pete Cosplay, this is part where it confused me a little bit, because on his set I believe this was rubber and there was a separate piece to connect them, so I was kind of curious why mine was different. The difference is this is 3D printed, and that piece that's supposed to connect them in his video, it's already printed onto there. This is the back section. So what you need to trim out is, I've already trimmed out some, so it's like these edge pieces here. I don't know how well you can see that. So this, you're just gonna snap off just like that, and then you're gonna trim down the bottom here, and then you're gonna paint it silver, and essentially that's good to go. And yeah, the connector piece, don't get rid of this section. That's supposed to stay there, and don't split these, like don't snap these off and separate them. They're supposed to be stuck together like that. So there you go. And then on this side, to wrap up the finished armor, here I have both shoulder bells. As you can see, these are ready to go. And these are actually the back pieces. These aren't going to be part of the armor anymore, but I was going to show you what it looked like. So I did end up cutting out the original pieces right there, as you can see, on the chest, and replace them with the rubber spots, replace them with the resin forms of them. And that's them right here. As you can see, the detail pops a lot more, so I'm glad I opted with these. And I do recommend, if you have the option to do this, go ahead with the resin pieces as a replacement. But there you go, this is the back section. I have the sections here drilled out for the straps here on the back, and yeah, this is all ready to go. Now pretty much my plan for this is just to finish up with all of the trimming, and then the next part should be painting. So let's get into that. Alright guys, so here's another update in terms of where I currently am with the armor. As you guys saw, I was working on the forearms, and here I have both of them actually, with the two halves glued together, and I did have to do the gluing off camera because I was struggling to force the bits of the plastic in on itself so that it would fit my arm better. That way the opening here on both sides would be narrower. But there you go, and as you can see with both of them, some of the glue did leak out, so I'm in the process of sanding them, and then I have to fix the opening here where it kind of meets my elbow because it's not the cleanest, so I will be cleaning those up. And then also, as you guys saw, I was working on the thigh pieces. Here are the two halves of the right thigh. I labeled them already so I don't lose track of them later on, right there. And then this is going to be the front piece, so this is the front right thigh, this is going to be on the back. They're going to connect like that, and on the side it's going to be connected by the rubber mats. So we have those ready, and yeah, the rubber mats will be put on when after these are painted, and we are ready to strap everything together. And in terms of what I'm going to be doing next, it's pretty much the pieces that don't need to be specifically fitted to a body. You just pretty much cut them out, it's straightforward, and then you glue them on. The priority pretty much for this round of the trimming is to these pieces. These are going to go on the thighs, and you have to be really careful about cutting this. If you're following Big Pete Cosplay, I suggest really paying attention to what needs to stay on the armor, at least for now, such as this little piece, believe it or not, that will have to stay on the armor when you cut it out, this little piece and this little piece, so you need to keep all of this, make sure not to cut that off. And a difference again in the Big Pete videos or line of videos is these used to be resin pieces that you had to attach. It's no longer the case. These are part of the cutout vacuum form pieces of armor, so it's going to be easier to do. So there you go. These are going to be glued onto the thighs, and pretty much everything else are all detailing pieces, straightforward. These are going to be at the bottom of the shins. Just cut that out, get that ready for both of them. These straightforward. These are the belt boxes, so just cut them out all around here. It's going to be hollow in the back, but that's going to be covered by the belt, so both of those. And then here, like I said previously, this is the gorget section. Still thinking about doing it, but I'm going to trim this out and clean it up anyways while I think about it. And then I'm going to proceed with this section. This is going to be on the right knee. As you can see, I already started cutting it. I'm just going to finish this one up. And there you go. That's again going to be one of the thigh pieces. And then just this one, this is going to be a simple cut. Just cut out these boxes. These are going to be covering the pouches that go on the belt, and then just the hand plates. Straightforward, just follow the cut line right there. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing on this run. Whoa. And that's why you wear the glasses, kids. Alright guys, so we're pretty much in the home stretch here in terms of the trimming of the armor, and I have ultimately decided to replace the current gorget piece with this new one for two reasons. Like I said previously, it makes it a little bit easier if this can come on and off to slip my head through if I stick the chest and the back permanently together. And second, because I notice it is a little bit more screen accurate to have this on, because with the chest piece it's about this thick, that section that's like on the bib, but really should be only about this thick, and this section will have the Velcro, so only this part will be exposed on that near my neck. So like I said, it'll be a little bit more accurate, so I will be working on that. Hopefully I don't make any mistakes. And finish with the trimming and the sanding for these things. These are the shin pieces here. Here you have the various thigh pieces, and then here's a knee piece. You have the hand plates right here, and then you have the several boxes and pouch covers that you're going to be putting on the belt. And with this one, my plan is I'm going to figure out which one goes to what side of the thigh and then cut off the excess pieces. That's why you have to leave this on for now. It's so you could kind of puzzle piece it to the thigh pieces a little bit easier. So for an example, here I have one of the thigh pieces. You have this section right here. So if I put an incorrect piece on, you can see it doesn't really fit in with the pattern here. As you can see, that pattern that you kind of see right there doesn't match this one or the direction in any way. So this one will. So as you can see right there, that's how it's going to end up being. I don't know how well that black can show on camera, but there is a pattern on there. And then once you figure out where it's supposed to go, you could trim off the excess and then sand it where need be, so it's a little smoother looking. So that's what these pieces are going to be for. You have the knee piece here. And then you, pretty much the last things we're going to do are like the resin pieces and the shins. The shins are the final pieces of the armor that are plastic that I have to work on really and trim. And then thermal detonator here, pretty much sanded. I'm going to glue it together with its end caps right here. And then I have to trim the blasters here for the forearm. And then I have to rub and buff these so they become a silver color. And then, yeah, once this section is all done, we're pretty much ready for painting. Alright, this is pretty much the last update of this video, and I am finally done with trimming. It took me about a week, with like probably averaging 2 to 4 hours a day, like all week working on this. But as you can see, the last pieces that were worked on is here are the thigh pieces. This is going to be the right thigh, as you can see, because it has this kneecap thing, and I did make a lot of mistakes here. The glue seeped out, so I had to sand that down before I have to get it ready for painting. And then these are the thigh pieces that have these little sections here that you have to glue on. So as you can see right there, that's the one with those kind of greeblies, and the thighs have it on both sides. So those are going to help connect the thigh matting to both sides of the thighs here. And then here I have both shins completed, so there's the other one on the box right there. But this is the one I wanted to show because it has these resin pieces that you have to sand, not a lot of sanding, just to smooth it down a little bit, and then glue on either side here at the top of the shin. So that one was pretty simple, and these are actually the first ones, I guess you could say, that got strapped, because they have Velcro already in the back here, as you could probably hear. But I chose to Velcro this first, so essentially the thighs are for the most part completed, so I could fit them on me a little bit better. But yeah, as you could also see here, there's that wing section that's at the bottom going inwards on the thighs, or the shins I should say. But yeah, there you go. The Velcro shouldn't be a problem because it's hidden, and when I paint this, the Velcro shouldn't be impacted in any way. And then going off here, I trimmed this down at the bottom. As you can see, it's a little bit cleaner. It's dull looking on the bottom there, but that's all going to be painted, like I said, with the silver leaf rub and buff. And then I put the thermal detonator together. This has been sanded and smoothed out. So this is all going to be colored gloss black like the rest of the armor. And then, like I said, I did decide to remove the original Gorget piece. So this one would be a replacement. And as you can see, it would just Velcro in right there. Actually a little bit more screen accurate, like I said, because this section right here that's exposed should be shorter than how it originally came, and this is now permanently glued together, the front and the back section, and that's ready to go. The seam here is going to be, as you can see right there where I glued them together, that's going to be pretty much covered by the buckles, the straps of the buckles that go on the top section here. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video in terms of my Death Trooper armor set. For the next update and the next video, I'm going to be showing you how I paint the things. It's pretty much going to be straightforward. Spray paint it, maybe a couple coats, and then cover that piece there with rub and buff. And then after that, we're going to get into strapping, and then we're almost going to be done with the armor. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any questions about this armor, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Hopefully I'll see it. If I don't, hopefully someone else will be able to help you guys out that sees your question. And as always, subscribe to Skybite Studios on YouTube. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next update.